MotorWeek is made possible by TireRack.com and RockAuto.com.
You know, we haven't heard a lot from the folks at Volvo lately. The last Volvo we tested was the 740 wagon. In the meantime, the 700 series has established itself as the popular Volvo of choice. And based on past performance, we can guess that the 7 Series Volvos will still be selling 5 or even 10 years from now. But there's no reason to think that Volvo's in a rut. In fact, Volvo has just introduced a new 2-door version of the 700, and it has a quality you might not associate with Volvos at all.
Anyone who has it might admit that if you have it, you really don't have to talk about it. It will always be obvious. We're talking about class, and that's exactly what this car has. It's the Volvo 780 Coupe. Born from a special marriage with Italy's Bertone, the 780 is the first 2-door member of Volvo's largest 700 series. Like the chop-top Volvo 262 Coupe of almost a decade ago, the 780's Bertone styling is more of an upgrade than a transformation. The razor-sharp edges of the 700 series have been softened with subtle additions such as flush headlamps to reduce the traditional boxy Volvo look. But there are plenty of angles remaining in the roofline and in the broad window cutouts. But anything smoother might look superficial and silly. The end product works just fine. The 780 sits only a half-inch lower than other 700 series cars, but it looks even lower. Fit and finish is superb, and all bright work is stainless steel. But differences in the 780 are even more apparent inside. It's warm to the extreme, with soft Italian leather covering everything that the genuine elm burr accents don't. As you'd expect, the seats are simply marvelous. Power adjustments provide suitable driving positions for just about anyone. 780 Headroom is a smidgen less than other 700 models, but the reduction will go unnoticed since the 700s have so much in the first place. Safety-minded Volvo has also included front seatbelt tensioners and a driver's side airbag inside the non-adjustable steering wheel. That stationary rim caused a few drivers to complain. It blocks the view at the edges of the complete and excellent analog gauges. Every Volvo comfort option is standard on the 780, plus a few. Both front seats are electrically heated. The climate system is automatic, and the powerful cassette stereo comes with a 7-band equalizer. The sunroof is glass and fully electric. And speaking of electric, a power sliding front passenger seat is an interesting aid for getting to the rear seat. Once situated, there's good leg room and ample headroom for a coupe. Volvo provides rear shoulder belts for security and a center armrest for utility. It hides a passageway to the trunk for carrying long items such as skis. The trunk is released with this typical Italian door sill lever, or by a power switch in the glove box. The cargo bay itself is typically Volvo huge. The only problem is a high liftover lip. The 780 powertrain is familiar, yet different. The 2.8-liter V6 is the same Peugeot-Renault-Volvo joint design that's been around for more than a dozen years. But Volvo has reworked the heads, crankshaft, fuel injection, and electronic ignition. There's more power now with better low-end torque and smoother, even-firing operation. Output is now 145 horsepower and 173 pound-feet of torque, a 9% gain. The sole transmission is a 4-speed automatic that has a driver-controlled lockout for the overdrive top gear. It shifts smoothly and detracts little from the V6's improved performance. 0 to 60 time was 11 seconds, and the quarter-mile result was 18 seconds at 78 miles per hour. Good for a refined sports coupe that still has to pull around over 3,200 pounds. Handling, however, belies the car's weight. The 780 is agile in the best European tradition. It isn't made to sling around, but to take twisty mountain roads at what Americans would consider suicidal speeds. The steering is properly boosted with a good amount of feedback. The precision of the 780 design is apparent in every corner, with crisp reactions and a rear end that stays planted. Precision also is the word for the 780's brakes. Volvo has always had some of the best in the business. All models feature triangular fail-safe circuits and 4-wheel disc. But the 780 standard anti-lock system takes it a giant step further. Stops averaged a short 110 feet with little fade and a firm pedal. On the open road, the 780 is a fast, quiet cruiser. Top speed is 115. At a more sedate 55, the interior sound level was a luxurious 65 decibels. Mileage estimates are also in the luxury car class at 18 city and 21 highway. We expect most drivers will find an everyday average of 19 acceptable, if hardly outstanding. But then, that's one of the prices you must pay for class. The other is $35,000 if you want to own one of the only 2,000 780s that will arrive here this year. So what hit us best about this classy Volvo? Well, we find the Bertone Coupe styling extremely pleasing, while the interior is understated luxury at its best. In fact, the entire concept of the car seems finely thought out. The reworked engine is a success too, and so is the addition of anti-lock technology to the Volvo's already excellent brakes. Misses are minor, a non-adjusting steering wheel that partially blocks gauges, and mileage that is low by today's standards, even for a sporty coupe. Safety is, as always, a high point for Volvo, and it makes a clean sweep of our 5 requirements. Halogen headlamps, steel-belted tires, 5-mile-per-hour bumpers, front passive restraints, and rear shoulder belts are all standard on the 780. So after years of providing customers with some of the most comfortable, useful, and reliable cars on the road, Volvo has finally done a little something for itself, a Class Bertone rendition. But while the 780 is certainly flashier than past designs, we're glad to say that first and foremost, it's still a Volvo.